Hello beautiful and welcome to Makeup. This is a great day. This is a great week. New South Wales, Australia has been in a lockdown for about 5 months now, which means that I have not been able to set foot in stores and buy supplies that I would usually buy for my videos, which means that there has been quite a lacking in hats. Until now. Spotlight's open, I was able to get fabric, so I made a teddy bear beret. Today's such a good day. Hello gorgeous, welcome back to another video and welcome back to Water Cooler Convo Makeup, where I talk about the things that you want me to talk about, where I talk about the things that I want me to talk about, and sometimes we meet in the middle and I talk about the things that we want me to talk about while I do my makeup. And today, I have not had as much joy researching and writing the notes for a video before. This is, in all honesty, going to be one of my favorite videos. I've already had so much fun, and I'm gonna keep having a lot of fun. I have now done 2 butterfly effect videos, being the James Charles and the Jeffree Star one, where I essentially ask the hypothetical question of what if insert YouTuber here never posted to YouTube, what would their community look like, what would YouTube look like? And on both of those videos, I have had quite a lot of requests for the one, the only Nikkie tutorials, and I couldn't agree more. Disclaimer and content warning: in this video, as I have already specified, I will be discussing Nikkie tutorials, specifically her butterfly effect, and because of this, I will have brief discussions of transphobia. If you find this topic potentially triggering, please proceed with caution or consider clicking off of the video altogether, because at the end of the day, I do not want for my content to jeopardize your happiness and jeopardize your well-being. Also, full transparency, and I should have made this clear in previous videos, so I will be making a more conscious effort from now on to do this, but in this video, my bias is positive. I have been quite a fan of Nikkie's for quite some time, but I will still try and be as objective as positive, and when I give my subjective opinions, I will make it known that those are my subjective opinions. But even though I have a positive bias, Nikkie is still human, Nikkie is still flawed, Nikkie has still made mistakes, Nikkie has still had trash behavior, so I will still discuss that side of things as well in this video. Also, even though I trust every single one of you, I still need to explicitly state that I do not promote, encourage, or endorse any kind of mean, negative, harassing, malicious behavior. My videos are strictly for entertainment purposes only, so I do not want for any kind of mean, hateful, harassing, malicious behavior to go out there into the world because of something that I've said or on my behalf. We are, of course, allowed to keep it cheeky, we're allowed to keep it messy, we're allowed to keep it fun, but please keep it to this channel and this comment section only. With all of that said and done, let's get on to the video and let's get on to mapping out what if Nikkie tutorials never posted to YouTube. Nikkie tutorial's journey on YouTube starts all the way back in 2008 on June 30th, when she posted her first makeup tutorial called Makeup Tutorial, my first official look for YouTube. Title definitely gets the point across, but the video itself is definitely the 4-year-old finger painting version of Nikkie's online content. Compare the pair. Baby Nikkie is definitely adorable, but the contrast between baby Nikkie and the Nikkie we all know today is absolutely incredible. But if Nikkie never posted to YouTube, what would the beauty community look like? What would YouTube look like? What is Nikkie's butterfly effect? Between Nikkie's first post in 2008 to 2015, there was nothing but what you would expect from a beauty channel that was posting on YouTube between 2008 and 2015. Some cute tutorials, some how to get the looks, some reviews, hauls, and first impressions. And I say what you'd expect because YouTube only launched in 2005, and as I said in my evolution of the beauty community video, the true potential of YouTube, the platform, and therefore the creators on the platform, was a tiny little dot of consideration. People had no idea what the true influence and true power of YouTube, the platform, would eventually have, and what their creators would eventually have. Literally, in 2005, if you told people that YouTubers would eventually be on the Met Gala red carpet, people would laugh at you. And on top of that, when Nikkie first started posting to YouTube, the YouTube Partner Program, which is the monetization program, had only existed for a few months. So I think it's pretty safe to say that when Nikkie first started posting to YouTube, it wasn't for the fame, It wasn't for the fortune, it was for the passion and for the love. I'm pretty confident in saying that when baby Nikki first started posting to YouTube, she was probably posting for the fun of it. But as YouTube, the platform, developed and the makeup on the platform developed and the quality of the technology for film and editing developed, she developed too. Her channel developed too. So between 2008 to 2015, and because Nikki still has almost all of her videos up on her channel, you can see a gradual development in Nikki and in her content. I hate this curler. I hate this curler. I can't do it. I can't do it. I want my small one back. May as well just straighten my hair. This is the first time I've tried to use that curler. Should have tried to play with it off camera first because this is... But according to webarchive.com, May 6th, 2015, Nikkie Tutorials had 763,000 subscribers. And as I said in my James Charles and Jeffree Star butterfly effect videos, the fascinating part for me specifically when it comes to the effect of these creators' butterfly effects is that it isn't super dynamic until you put it into some perspective. Up until this point of the timeline, if Nikkie Tutorials never posted to YouTube, grand scheme of things, I don't really think much would change on YouTube. But she has 763,000 subscribers and she has hundreds of videos. And with every single one of her videos, she is teaching people, she is recommending products to people, she is not recommending products to people, she is inspiring people to do makeup, and she is inspiring people to possibly try something different and step out of their comfort zone when it comes to their makeup. That may not be a big domino that doesn't fall because Nikkie Tutorials never posted to YouTube, but that is 763,000 little dominoes that don't fall because Nikkie Tutorials never posted to YouTube. Nikkie Tutorials never post to YouTube, therefore doesn't post a winged eyeliner tutorial, therefore one person out there somewhere doesn't learn how to do their winged eyeliner via that video, so therefore they don't learn how to do it, and therefore they don't wear it at all of these things. Small little butterfly effect, but that happens for 763,000 people. I am talking about 763,000 followers as if it is a small feat. It is not. That is a lot of hard work and effort that she had to put in to be able to grow her channel to that point in time. But she had 763,000 followers May 6th, and then by June 12th, she uploaded her video, 1 million subscribers, flashbacks! All caps. In this video, Nikki unsurprisingly announced that she hit 1 million followers on June 11th. So how did Nikki manage to jump 230,000 subscribers on YouTube in just over 2 months? Well, that would be her viral, internet-shattering video, The Power of Makeup. If you've seen my Evolution of the Beauty Community video, you know all of my thoughts and opinions when it comes to this incredible video that Nikki posted. If you haven't seen it, go check it out if you want to. If you don't want to go check it out, that is a-okay, because to summarize my thoughts and opinions, The Power of Makeup is the single most influential video in the development of the beauty community. Nikki specified in The Power of Makeup that the reason she was inspired to make the video was because she noticed that a lot of people were really starting to get into makeup, that a lot of people were really starting to love makeup, but at the same time, a lot of people were being shamed for loving makeup, because according to some small-minded individuals, people who love and wear makeup are boy-crazy, insecure motherfuckers whose self-loathing has become a heavily invested hobby. Yes, the insecure ones in this scenario are the people wearing the makeup, not the people that are shaming people for wearing the makeup. So after watching the season 7 episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Prancing Queens, where the queens had to do a half male, half drag runway look, she decided that she was going to do a half full-on glam makeup look and then leave the other side of her face bare, naked, beautiful, to show off the power of makeup. So very accurately named video. This video today is sitting at 42.5 million views, which is absolutely bonkers, but in my personal opinion, I think this video really catalyzed the development of the beauty community, because it helped us develop this sense of community by making all of those small-minded individuals the butt of our jokes, and every time they would try and make us the butt of their jokes, we would just laugh at them, make more jokes, and play with our pretty colors. This video not only showed us the power of makeup, but it also showed us the pride of makeup, the passion of makeup, the love of makeup, the fun of makeup again. So Nikkie Tutorials never posts to YouTube, and therefore she never posts The Power of Makeup. what does YouTube look like and what does the beauty community look like? I would outrightly say that the internet itself would have a lot less heart to it, and the beauty community itself would have a lot less heart, love, and passion in it. But mapping out this timeline, if we were to take the power of makeup off of the internet, if we were to take the power of makeup out of the beauty community itself, if we took the power of makeup out of our reality, I think it would severely stunt the growth and development of the beauty community. Because on YouTube, there was definitely the makeup niche, and there was definitely creators within this makeup niche, but there was a key piece of the puzzle missing to make this niche and make creators within this niche a community. And to me personally, I think that the makeup niche was just missing a lot of heart and a lot of passion. So as soon as the power of makeup was posted, there was this influx of heart and passion, which catalyzed the development of the beauty community. And I'm quite confident in saying this because I think anyone who has been a part of the beauty community, whether it is a creator or an audience member, has watched that video. I am very confident in saying that this video specifically is a video that everyone within the beauty community has in common. So yes, a catalyst. So if we remove it from the internet, I think, yeah, the makeup community would eventually still develop. I think that the makeup niche would eventually still develop into a community, but the speed at which that would happen would be severely slowed down. So I think the growth and development of the beauty community would be incredibly stunted, but I also think it would be a lot more gradual in comparison, because I cannot think of a single moment preceding Nikkie Tutorial's Power of Makeup that was as uniting, inspiring, and uplifting that every single person in the beauty community shares. That to this day, it still holds up. That to this day, the community as a whole can still look back at it with so much joy. After all of my research on the beauty community and creators within the beauty community, there are quite a lot of crucial, critical moments, but most of those moments are for the individual. So James Charles and the Ring Light, Brentman Rock and those contour videos. But I think almost all of these critical moments have catalyzed the individual's career, not so much catalyzed the development of the beauty community into becoming the beauty community. I think they managed to push the beauty community a bit, but I think they only managed to do this because of the power of makeup, because the power of makeup was this initial catalyst and created this solid foundation. So I think it's pretty safe to say that without Nikkie's tutorials, the makeup community, the beauty community would be drastically different, and I think it would lack a lot of heart and a lot of passion. But eventually a beauty community would develop. It would just be in a different way, probably at a slower pace and probably more gradual. But because the growth and development of the beauty community slows down substantially in Nikkie's absence, in turn, so does YouTube's. If you've watched my content before, you know that I like to make food analogies, specifically cake analogies. So, YouTube is the cake, and all of its communities are the ingredients. If you take out the beauty community or the cocoa powder, the cake is going to be different. Put the cocoa powder in later, the cake's gonna be different. Put less cocoa powder in, the cake's gonna be different. YouTube may be a huge platform, but for some time, the makeup community was an absolute powerhouse profit-wise. The makeup industry is $1 billion industry, and YouTube the platform and YouTube the creators did not hesitate to take their piece of the profits. So slow down the growth and development of the beauty community, and in turn slow down YouTube's too. In the grand scheme of things, this slowing down isn't going to ruin anything specifically, but it is definitely a possible effect of one person not posting to YouTube. So in my personal opinion, pretty goddamn drastic. But it isn't just the beauty community, it isn't just YouTube, it is also the audience's journey that is slowed down. Potentially 42.5 million people's journeys, 42.5 million people's lives are affected for better, for worse, for little, and for small. And I say this because this video was for me. I was doing my makeup a bit at this point in time, but it wasn't anything fancy. And then I saw the power of makeup, I watched this video, and I decided, fuck it, and I haven't slowed down since. So take this video off of the history of the internet, and even my makeup journey is slowed down, which is why I find the butterfly effect so fascinating, because this butterfly effect has the potential to affect the trajectory of YouTube, but also me. We are on very different levels of influence. Another company whose trajectory is definitely affected by the absence and presence of Nikkie Tutorials is that of the makeup company Too Faced. For better and for worse in my personal opinion. After Nikkie posted her incredible video, The Power of Makeup, Nikkie and Too Faced collaborated on an eyeshadow palette. Actually, it wasn't just eyeshadow, there was also a bronzer and a highlighter if I'm not mistaken, and you could also buy it in a bit of a collection. So the whole collection wasn't a collaboration, it was just the eyeshadow palette, but you could buy a collection with a few other bits and pieces in it. Either way, June 26th, 2016, Nikkie announced on her YouTube channel the collaboration with Too Faced. She was of course incredibly excited to show off all of her hard work and effort, and also all of Too Faced's hard work and effort. People saw it, people were excited, people bought it, just for it to arrive and for them to be severely disappointed. This part of the timeline does actually span over a few years, but instead of doing the whole entire video chronologically, I'm just going to put all of this situation in this part of the video. So, initially Too Faced and Nikkie received a lot of negativity and a lot of backlash. People did not hesitate to leave their negative reviews on the palette, on the collection. People were also calling out Nikkie and Too Faced for lying about the quality of the palette, and people were accusing Nikkie of lying to her fans. People were also calling Nikkie a sellout, and Nikkie has, over the years since this palette has dropped, discussed how this palette, this collaboration, actually almost ruined her career. So this palette, this collaboration, unfortunately hit Nikkie really hard, and unfortunately really tarnished her reputation. And it was also a crucial point in the downfall of Too Faced. For the makeup look for this video, I am going to be recreating a Nikkie Tutorials look because, like, why wouldn't I? I'm gonna be doing this one specifically because, oh, she looks so cute, she looks so glorious, and also with my cute little teddy bear beret, I think it's gonna look really, really nice when I don't look like Harry's practice. But from my understanding, Too Faced used to be quite a go-to for a lot of people back in 2015, 2016, because I know so many people and have watched so many creators who have had the chocolate bar palette or the peachy palette. So many people just loved the company and they were constantly putting out good product after good product. But unfortunately, this seemed to go downhill really, really fast, with a lot of YouTube creators having a lot of issues with the co-founder, Gerard Blandino, as well as other workers in the company, but from what I could find, primarily Jared. For Too Faced specifically, it wasn't just one moment that led to their downfall, it was moment after moment that eventually piled up to the reputation that they now have. Where this Power of Makeup palette collaboration moment really starts to go south for Too Faced is when Jeffree Star called them out on two different occasions. The first was in a set of tweets in 2017, and the second was in his first docuseries with Shane Dawson. According to Jeffree, Too Faced paid Nikkie Tutorials $50,000 for the palette and collaboration, but the sales of the palette approximated to about $10 million. So percentage-wise, Nikkie Tutorials got absolutely screwed. Yes, Nikkie signed the contracts, but she was young and she was naive, and from what I could tell, this was her first big makeup collaboration, and by the looks of it, she was taken for an absolute ride. Unsurprisingly, this was not a good look for Too Faced, and the internet was very quick to apologize to Nikkie, but also forgive Nikkie after all of the backlash from the palette collaboration. Nikkie then made a series of tweets in 2019 giving her very brief side of the story when it came to the eyeshadow palette collaboration with Too Faced. She specifies that yes, she was young and naive, but she did sign the contracts, but at the same time, the negative reviews and the backlash really hurt her, and at the same time, allegedly, it's not how you do it, but whatever, allegedly, Too Faced actually changed the quality and formula behind her back, resulting in the bad reviews. So once again, the internet did not hesitate to defend Nikkie, but also tear down Too Faced in the process. In this very specific situation, collaboration, and part of the butterfly effect, there were four main players. The first, of course, being Nikkie, but if Nikkie isn't posting to YouTube in the first place, she's not getting the collaboration, and therefore she's not getting screwed over, which I guess is nice. The second, of course, is Too Faced, which is definitely an interesting one for me because without Nikkie, I don't think an influencer collaboration would have happened with Too Faced at this point in time. I genuinely and personally think, this is my personal opinion, I personally think that Too Faced only did this Power of Makeup collaboration because they wanted to capitalize on the virality that was the Power of Makeup video and Nikkie Tutorials, not to make a influencer collaboration palette. Some companies at the time were definitely recognizing the power of the internet and were trying to utilize that as efficiently as possible. I just, from what I could see, don't think that that is what Too Faced was doing. I want to make it clear that I think that an influencer palette collaboration could have been a business endeavor eventually, but just not in 2015, 2016. And the person definitely would have had to have been pulling some really big numbers, but also would have had to have had quite a substantial presence and be growing quite rapidly. And this just wasn't really happening in 2015, 2016. But regardless of when in the timeline Too Faced would actually do this influencer collaboration, I still think that Too Faced would have tried to have played it the exact same way. I think Too Faced, the company, still would have tried to have taken the replacement YouTuber for an absolute ride financially, and I think they still would have tried to allegedly change the formula behind the replacement influencer's back. Depending on how educated the replacement influencer is, and depending on how much support the replacement influencer has, depends on if the deal goes through the exact same way. The person would have to be as naive as Nikkie. So depending, this situation could have worked out both better and worse for Too Faced, depending on who the replacement influencer was. But without Nikkie, I still think that Too Faced would have met their downfall eventually, in my personal opinion. Because over the years, they've definitely shown, in my personal opinion, some interesting character consistency, and that is something that I will be getting into a little bit further on in the video. The third player in this situation is Jeffree Star, and in my personal opinion, Jeffree, I've said this before in videos, Jeffree seems to be the kind of person that puts more effort into convincing people that he is a certain person rather than putting that same amount of effort into just being that person. He doesn't invite drama into his life. He stays out of drama. So in my personal opinion, I think that if the internet didn't have this piece of history, Jeffree Star still would have managed to achieve the same drama-free life. And finally, player number 4. The consumers. Anyone who was sent or anyone who bought the palette would be affected for better or for worse. I've said this in both of my other butterfly effect videos, and I stand by it, and I will say it in every single butterfly effect video that I do from now on, and that is that if a creator is crucial in the production of a makeup product or a product in general, they never post to YouTube, so the product is not made, and therefore there are thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dominoes that don't fall. In context of Nikkie tutorials and the Power of Makeup palette, there would be thousands of looks that aren't created, thousands of looks that aren't worn, there would be money that is saved, and also videos that aren't posted, so subscriber changes that don't happen, and therefore finances. If for some reason you found, watched, and subscribed to a specific creator or channel on YouTube because of their first impressions video of the Power of Makeup palette, how would you have found them if Nikkie never posted to YouTube? That's what I mean by the butterfly effect. I personally didn't find anyone from review videos, but at the same time, I'm sure that there is someone out there who found a specific channel because of a Power of Makeup palette review video. And if that's the case, that person never would have watched the video and possibly never would have subscribed. Thankfully for Nikkie, after the Power of Makeup backlash between 2016 and 2020, nothing really substantial or outlandish happened. There was of course a lot of looks that Nikkie did, a lot of videos that Nikkie posted, and there was some drama that Nikkie was involved in, but in the grand scheme of things, it kind of didn't matter, but at the same time mattered. For example, the Eevee blender, it was absolutely huge news at the time. By the looks of it, Nikkie wasn't disclosing affiliate links or business deals and brand partnerships. The reason this was huge news at the time is because it created a lot of distrust between Nikkie and her audience. Now, don't get me wrong, absolutely trash behavior. If you aren't giving your audience 100% of the information when it comes to brand deals and affiliate links, like, you're just misleading people when it comes to where they put their money. It just boils my blood. It takes all of 30 seconds to say, hey, I have a brand deal with this brand, do with that information what you want. So don't get me wrong, trash behavior, but at the same time, unfortunately, in the grand scheme of things, it's kind of nothing. The situation just ceases to exist. Of course, there are some people who don't buy the Eevee blender because of a positive review from Nikkie, and therefore Nikkie doesn't get paid and the company doesn't get that money. But at the same time, sadly and unfortunately, Nikkie was not the only creator at the time doing this level of weaselly shit. Not disclosing brand relationships, brand deals, and affiliate links was unfortunately a huge issue at the time, and very much within the beauty makeup community. With Nikkie never posting to YouTube, it just literally means that Nikkie wouldn't be doing this weaselly shit. Other brands would still be doing this, other creators would still be doing this, and some to this day still do this. So really, Nikkie's absence from the internet with this situation specifically means one less piece of garbage at the tip. So it doesn't matter in the way that it's just one less piece of garbage at the tip, but it does matter in the way that this is millions of subscribers that aren't being misled into spending their money, and which effect is really bigger, one domino or millions of dominoes. As for Eevee Blender, they just would have had one less glowing review, but if they can afford Nikkie tutorials to do this, they can afford other creators. Nikkie at this point in time was, I'm pretty sure, one of the highest, if not the highest paid makeup guru on YouTube when it came to promotion. But not only would we miss out on all of this juicy drama and gossip, but we would also miss out on all of the good things too. All of the love, all of the passion, all of the inspiration on her channel. Yes, there was some genuine positive reviews of products on her channel at the time, but for the life of me I can't figure out which one was legit and which one wasn't legit. But regardless, without these genuine, whichever ones they are, first impression review videos, there would definitely be people who haven't bought certain products because of them. Without Nikkie's presence on YouTube, there would definitely be trends that would just be missing her spark and her joy. There would definitely be some makeup looks that just never would have existed, which means that there are some people out there who would have worn something very, very different to Halloween multiple times. There would definitely be video collaborations that never would have happened as well, which for everyone that I've seen Nikkie tutorials do a collaboration video with on her channel, they have all had a similar or otherwise still substantial platform, and in a reality where these video collaborations never happened, I highly, highly doubt that their careers would be affected. Which weirdly, and I say weirdly because it seems to be common practice, but Nikkie's channel doesn't function off of friendships, relationships, tea, drama, or gossip. Funnily enough, the primary focus is her and her makeup. She lets people into her life and she lets people onto her channel, but not in the way where she needs it to survive. She doesn't seem to put on collaborations because she needs it for the views, for the subscribers, for the dollars. Alright, cool. So with the very few collaboration videos that I could see on Nikkie's YouTube channel, I don't think any of the people that she has collaborated with in these videos would be affected. I think that they could still do these collaboration videos, but with other YouTubers. Nikkie's absence on YouTube would not make and would not break their careers, which is why I think this is possibly going to be one of my favorite butterfly effect videos to film. Because yeah, Nikkie has definitely had some crucial moments on YouTube and off YouTube, and they have had absolutely incredible ripple effects. But Nikkie has been a constant figure of heart, passion, inspiration, love when it comes to makeup and the makeup community. So with her never posting to YouTube, her main butterfly effect is the millions of people that she couldn't be a teacher for, that she couldn't be a bright spark for, that she couldn't inspire. I may have never have picked up highlighter if it wasn't for Nikkie. The first time that we saw this was when Nikkie posted her incredible video, The Power of Makeup, and bittersweetly, the second time we saw this was January 14th, 2020, when Nikkie posted her incredible video, I'm Coming Out. I always describe this video as bittersweet because we've been able to watch Nikkie since posting it, see all of the love, the support that she's received, and see her grow even more as a person and achieve so much, and really just see her experience so many of the good things that she never thought was possible at one point. But heartbreakingly, this video came at the expense of her autonomy. She expressed in the video that this is of course something that she'd always wanted to share with everyone, that she had always wanted to share with all of the people that loved her and supported her, but she wanted to do it on her terms and she wanted to do it in her time. But a disgusting human being decided that they were going to take that away from her and blackmailed her and threatened to leak her story to the press because according to this blackmailer, she was lying about who she really was. Fun fact about me is a few years ago, I got food poisoning so bad that I legitimately almost died. And I feel as though this is a perfect description of this vile excuse of a human being. My almost fatal food poisoning. Thankfully for Nikkie, she was able to make a response video called Responding to My Coming Out, where she expressed that police had figured out who the blackmailer was, and because of this, Nikkie knew their name, address, email address, essentially every single detail about the blackmailer. She specified that it was both frightening and freeing to know. Frightening because it takes so much evil for a person to do something like this, but freeing to know who it finally is. Once again, another video of Nikkie's, this video specifically, brought the makeup community together. It really unified us because even people who stopped watching Nikkie, even people who had never watched Nikkie, were all coming together to offer her love and support. So even though this is definitely not the way that I want to see it happen, this moment was still an incredibly unifying moment for the makeup community, but not just the makeup community, but also the LGBTQAI+ community. It's disgustingly all too common that people are outed. It's disgustingly all too common that people are robbed of their truth, of their story. Disgustingly all too common that people are discriminated against for living their lives as their authentic selves. And it's disgustingly all too common how someone's sexuality and gender is used and abused mentally, physically, and financially, and all of the other illies that I can't think of at this point in time. This coming out video, this story specifically, is Nikkie's, but it is very sadly one that so many people can relate to. So Nikkie tutorials never post to YouTube, and therefore she never makes this coming out video. In all honesty, I think it's probably a nicer scenario for Nikkie, because it would have meant that she would have had at least more choice when it came to sharing her story and how she wanted to share her story and at what time she would share her story. But at the same time, to lose this video specifically means that there is the genuine possibility that quite a lot of people would not have had the courage to live their lives as their authentic selves, which I think is an incredibly sad reality. The only person that I can see actually benefiting from Nikkie not posting this video is that of Lisa Blandino. And if you're thinking to yourself, Blandino, now why does that sound familiar? Well, she is the sister of the co-founder of Too Faced, Gerard Blandino. So Lisa, the absolute silly Billy, decided that her Instagram bio would read as transgender, huh? That's not the only thing that she's been lying about, after Nikkie posted her coming out video. Unsurprisingly, the internet wasn't very forgiving. And after the internet became aware of Lisa's transphobic bio, she decided to change it. So then it read as, let's be clear, I love trans people and dislike anyone who lies to hurt others. Period. Oh, that was a close call you had there, Lisa. You really saved it with that one. This change in Instagram bio was incredibly too late, especially considering the relationship between Nikkie and Too Faced, but also considering that Nikkie specified in her coming out video that she was being blackmailed. People assume that it was Lisa who was blackmailing Nikkie, but as Nikkie specified in her responding to my coming out video, she knows who the blackmailer is, and if anyone's going to reveal their identity, it is her. And at this point in time, and I definitely could be wrong about this, I don't think she has revealed the true identity of the blackmailer. Regardless, the situation in the Instagram bio went viral, and people were calling for a cancellation and boycott of Too Faced Cosmetics. Seemingly, Gerard had no choice but to fire his sister. Oh no! But at the same time, I couldn't find any concrete evidence to suggest that she still wasn't profiting off of the company. So if it wasn't for Nikkie tutorials, the trash that is Lisa Blandino may still be employed at Too Faced, which... that's a really uncomfortable reality, in my personal opinion. This is a weirdly reoccurring theme in Nikkie's life. She seems to just live, and then people around her tend to treat her like trash, and then later suffer the consequences for it. Oh no, your awful behavior has awful consequences to it? What a wild concept. And sadly, I say this not just because of Lisa Blandino, but also because of Ellen DeGeneres. Because unfortunately, from my understanding, Nikkie tutorials was a crucial part to the downfall of Ellen DeGeneres. After Nikkie's coming out video went absolutely viral, she was invited to be on the Ellen DeGeneres show for an interview. Unfortunately, by the looks of it, the focal point of the interview was Nikkie's viral video and her coming out rather than her talent, skill, and all of her other achievements, but at the same time, the overall vibe of the interview was still the same. The same vibe as all of the other Ellen DeGeneres interviews. I want to be able to sum up the vibe of Ellen DeGeneres interviews from my point of view, but I know that I'm going to be insulting some people by doing it. But it has the same essence of a conversation where you have someone you know on the phone to one of their friends, and they're telling them the most hilarious story about how they accidentally forgot their reusable shopping bags when they went to the supermarket. So I got to the checkout counter and you would not believe what happened. Just wait for it. I got there and I realized that I left all of the bags in the car. I know, Susan. Is that I know. I'm just having one of those days. What can I say? That's the vibe that Ellen DeGeneres interviews give me. You forgot your reusable bags in the car? Fuck me. That is an absolute tale. So Nikkie's interview on the Ellen DeGeneres show still had the same overall Ellen DeGeneres kind of vibe to it, until Nikkie went on the Dutch talk show De wereld draait door. When Nikkie was on the Dutch talk show, she expressed her experiences when being interviewed on the Ellen DeGeneres show. She expressed that yes, it was still an honor to be on the Ellen DeGeneres show, but that she was very much in favor of
De wereld draait door.
She expressed that Ellen was cold and distant and she wasn't allowed to say hello to Ellen before the interview, and she wasn't allowed to shake her hand after the interview, which was incredibly different to the treatment that she received on
De wereld draait door.
Then in her NC interview, she further expressed that all of the guests on the Ellen DeGeneres show got their own private bathroom, except for her, and that she wasn't even allowed to use the closest bathroom to her dressing room because that was reserved for the Jonas Brothers. Let a bitch piss in peace. And further in the NC interview, and probably one of the saddest points from my perspective, Nikkie expresses that still on her bucket list is to meet Adele, but after meeting Ellen, she knows better than to meet her idols. I don't have many idols, but for me, I guess it would be meeting Anthony Stewart Head and him just treat me like absolute horse shit. I would be pretty cut up by that. I'm not gonna lie, I would be devastated if that happened to me. So I can imagine how Nikkie felt in this whole entire situation. So overall, Nikkie Tutorials was probably one of the first, if not the first, to discuss her experiences on the Ellen DeGeneres show so openly and discuss her displeasure with being on the Ellen DeGeneres show and discuss who Ellen really was off camera. And because of this, a huge fun butterfly effect happened where other people started coming forward with their own negative experiences with the Ellen DeGeneres show and with Ellen DeGeneres, but also old clips were brought back into the limelight, and what was originally seen as some Ellen DeGeneres kind of shenanigans was just seen for what it truly was, which was Ellen DeGeneres being kind of shit. This experience of Nikkie's also, by the looks of it, helped push this viral Twitter thread aimed at Ellen DeGeneres. Kevin T. Porter offered to donate $2 to the LA Food Bank for every story that contradicted the character that is the Ellen DeGeneres that we see on camera. Here's the thing, you can only keep up appearances for so long. Eventually, people are going to be able to see through the facade. I am definitely missing tools and products that would make the application of this makeup look a lot easier. We're gonna push through though, and we'll see how she turns out. But regardless, I don't think that Nikkie's experience with the Ellen DeGeneres show and with Ellen DeGeneres is unique. I think the way that she discussed it later is. So if Nikkie never posts to YouTube, she isn't posting her coming out video, she isn't getting on the Ellen DeGeneres show, and her part in the Ellen DeGeneres downfall isn't going to happen. But regardless, I think Ellen still would have met her downfall. Because there is only so long you can escape the consequences of your trash actions. But what Nikkie had that so many other people didn't have that also had negative experiences with Ellen DeGeneres was her 13 million follower subscribership, her very loyal 13 million people subscribership, her online presence overall. With Nikkie's openness about her negative experiences on the show and with Ellen DeGeneres herself, her fans did not hesitate. They did not hesitate to vocalize their displeasure with the Ellen DeGeneres show and with Ellen DeGeneres, which just added a very substantial layer of fuel to the fire. Of course, people felt uncomfortable with the Dakota Johnson Ellen DeGeneres interview, but Dakota doesn't have 13 million subscribers on YouTube, all asking the Ellen show and Ellen DeGeneres herself for an apology. So I think Nikkie's experience with the show and with Ellen DeGeneres definitely had a significant enough effect that if it didn't happen at all, the downfall of Ellen DeGeneres would have happened differently. Maybe not much, but I still think it would have been different. So instead of the Ellen show losing 43% of their viewership, being over 1 million viewers, they may lose 40% instead, or 30%. And if Nikkie never posts to YouTube, never posts a viral coming out video, never gets interviewed by Ellen DeGeneres, never helps contribute to the downfall of Ellen DeGeneres, who takes her place when it comes to the interview itself? Literally anyone. 2020 was genuinely an unbelievable shit show for Nikkie Tutorials, to the point where I wouldn't be surprised if she sat there and thought to herself, could it get any worse? And then she got fucking robbed? Like, for fuck's sake, how does all of this happen to one decent person? There's just some things in this world I'm never gonna understand, and I am 100% sure that this is one of them. Either way, in August of 2020, Nikkie actually announced her second eyeshadow palette collaboration with a makeup company ever. Her collaboration with Beauty Bay. Woohoo! That came off a lot more sarcastic than it was meant to. I'm so sorry. I am genuinely excited. some of these little things aren't working out the way that I want them to work out because I don't have the tools. Either way, Nikkie Tutorials and Beauty Bay collaborated on this palette and the overall response has been pretty positive, and in my personal opinion, she looks pretty cute. I don't own it, I've never touched it, but color scheme wise, nice. At the time, this was a big moment for Nikkie Tutorials and also for Beauty Bay because this is the first eyeshadow palette collaboration that she has done since her Too Faced Power of Makeup palette, which, as I have said in this video, did not go well. To the point where her reveal video for this palette collaboration, she specified that the last time she did a eyeshadow palette collaboration, it almost destroyed her career and it ruined her reputation. And because of this, over the years, she has been incredibly cautious when it comes to doing makeup collaborations, specifically eyeshadow palettes, with other brands. And because of this, her and Beauty Bay have spared no expense and have gone above and beyond with this palette collaboration. But like everything we are talking about in this video, if we take Nikkie off of the internet, then this eyeshadow palette is never getting made. And if this eyeshadow palette doesn't exist, then that means that all of the makeup looks that are made with this eyeshadow palette cease to exist. That means that all of the videos that are made on this eyeshadow palette cease to exist, which means that certain people aren't going to have certain subscribers because they would never be able to find that channel because they never posted their Beauty Bay Nikkie Tutorials eyeshadow palette collaboration. My brain shut off halfway through that. Do I think that Beauty Bay would have come out with an influencer collaboration in the absence of Nikkie Tutorials? I, in all honesty, don't really know because do not know much information about Beauty Bay. I of course researched them before I made this video, but from my understanding, they are both a stockist and a makeup company. This means that Beauty Bay doesn't solely rely on their own products to make a profit, which means that they can take their time when it comes to developing, marketing, and selling products. So at this point in the timeline, Beauty Bay may not have needed to actually release a palette. They may have just released the palette because they wanted to, but if they were needing to release their own palette, they didn't necessarily have to do a collaboration because they have their own just Beauty Bay palettes. And if they did want to do a collaboration, who they've collaborated with over the years has kind of been all over the place. You had Nikkie, you had Disney, you had Jade Thirlwall, and you had A.O. Coraline. I hope I said their name right. If I didn't, I am so sorry. Beauty Bay doesn't seem to have a specific criteria when it comes to who they collaborate with, except for probably, because I don't see why a brand wouldn't do this, their criteria is probably just someone that they think that they would work well with. Beauty Bay's criteria is probably, do we think this person is going to be a good fit for us? Yes? Dope. Let's ask them. Because I'm not a part of their brand, I can't say who I think would be a good fit for Beauty Bay. Similarly, Nikkie's YouTube original series. If Nikkie never posts to YouTube, she is not getting a YouTube original series, and who would take her place? I don't even know where to start because from my understanding, the only criteria for if you get a YouTube original series or not is substantial following and a decent idea. How many creators have over 1 million subscribers? Like, even though it's still hard to get over 1 million, there's still quite a lot of creators with over 1 million subscribers. And how many of those people would have a decent idea to turn into a YouTube original series? I would say quite a lot. But regardless of who takes Nikkie's place when it comes to this YouTube original series, none of them will have Nikkie's series because Nikkie's series is her own personal story, her own personal experience. Once again, I think we have a similar effect to if the internet lost Nikkie's coming out video. There would be less inspiration, less heart, less passion, less motivation in Nikkie's absence from YouTube. And in replace of Nikkie's YouTube original series, we could literally have anyone with anything with any idea. And because I have no idea who would possibly be chosen, I can't even begin to map out what kind of a series would end up replacing Nikkie Tutorials. And as for Nikkie's incredible debut at this year's Met Gala, oh my gosh, once again, we're in a similar position. From my understanding, the last two Met Galas that have run, so 2019's Camp Theme Met Gala and this year's In American A Lexicon of Fashion Met Gala, YouTube has gotten a table at each. In 2019, YouTube invited Lily Singh, James Charles, and Madeline Pesch. I said that so wrong. I'm so sorry. It's Cheryl Blossom from Riverdale. Liza Koshy was at the 2018 and 2019 Met Gala, but she wasn't invited by YouTube. She was invited by Vogue as the interviewer of the celebrities on the red carpet. As for 2021, it was Emma Chamberlain that was invited by Vogue to be the interviewer of the celebrities on the red carpet, and invited by YouTube was Jackie Aina, Nikkie Tutorials, Eugene Lee Yang, and Addison Rae. So once again, I don't actually know what the criteria is, and it isn't even just YouTube saying, yep, we want you at the Met Gala, come along. Anna Wintour, aka Nuclear Winter, has to approve every single guest that is to attend the Met Gala. I'm getting heavier and heavier with my blush every time I do it, to the point where I'm eventually going to be looking like Crystal Method. I don't think that's a bad thing though. So I don't actually know who is noteworthy enough that YouTube would be like, hey, please come to the Met Gala and represent us, that hasn't been cancelled recently that would make them look bad, but also someone who is double vaccinated, but also someone who has the time to spare, but also someone who is happy to travel during the world right now, but also someone that Anna Wintour is likely to tick off. The only person I can think of being a possibility is Liza Koshy, but whoa, that was a lot of highlight. As I was saying, could be Liza Koshy, unless in 2019 she did a very big no-no at the Met Gala, which meant that Anna Wintour didn't want her to come back. I'm not saying that's fact, I'm just saying I don't know if that's happened. It's one of those things where not enough of a baseline has been established for me to even hypothesize who could replace Nikkie Tutorials in this hypothetical situation, this hypothetical reality. But whoever it would be replacing Nikkie, I highly doubt that they would be doing as fabulous a job as she did at the Met Gala this year. That dress, that ensemble, that artwork, that masterpiece, that eleganza, absolute fucking perfection, and the message behind it, absolute fucking perfection. I am genuinely still mesmerized by that eleganza. Once again, if we lose Nikkie from the Met Gala this year, if we lose that incredible piece from the Met Gala this year, in the grand scheme of things, it isn't really that drastic, but Nikkie's piece was a tribute to Marsha P. Johnson. If you don't know who Marsha P. Johnson is, I would thoroughly recommend this documentary. Beware, it will hit you with all of the sadnesses and all of the feels, but regardless, it is an incredible watch. But for those who are interested, I do discuss Marsha P. Johnson and her presence and her activism in my History of Pride video. But take away this piece from the Met Gala this year, and there will definitely be a few people who never learn about Marsha P. Johnson. There will be a few people who know who Marsha P. Johnson is strictly because of this dress. Strictly because of this absolute fucking masterpiece. There will be people who haven't learned as a result a key piece of LGBTQAI+ community history, and once again we have a similar effect to if we lost Nikkie's coming out video and her YouTube original series. Less inspiration, less heart, and less passion. Also a cheeky little note to Nikkie's interviews on the Met Gala red carpet with Eugene, because throughout their interviews you could see that she was constantly hyping him up. Eugene had such a trash time leading up to the Met Gala itself, because hours before he was due to be on the Met Gala carpet, his dress fell through. Absolutely heartbreaking. So when Emma Chamberlain was actually interviewing Eugene and Nikkie, you could see him discussing how his dress fell through, and Nikkie's response was, yep, but you made it work. And she was just, it was so nice to see. It was a wholesome little nugget that I got to watch, and I absolutely loved it. So take Nikkie away from this year's Met Gala, and I just wonder how much worse Eugene's Met Gala this year would have been. And lastly, Nimya. Very recently, Nikkie Tutorials launched her own makeup line called Nimya, and to start, the collection seems to just be your makeup skincare products that help prepare your face for the makeup and also set your face with the makeup so that you can go as long as you need to go with the makeup on your face. Looks really cute, people seem to be really excited, and people seem to be enjoying the products that they have. But like essentially everything that I've discussed in this video, if Nikkie Tutorials never posts to YouTube, then I highly doubt that she is going to be making her own cosmetics line. And as I've already specified in this video, and as I've specified in previous butterfly effect videos, the main effect is on the audience, is on the consumer. The overall effect isn't that setting spray will never exist, but Nikkie Tutorials setting spray would never exist. cost. Someone somewhere in the world never buys one of those portable fans because Nikkie never makes it and Nikkie never sells it. Someone somewhere out there in the world never buys glow drops because Nikkie never made it. So once again, all of these makeup looks that are never worn, all of these first impression review videos that are never posted, and because these videos are never posted, the views aren't there, the subs aren't there, and the finances aren't there. So if Nimya was never to be created because Nikkie tutorials never posted to YouTube, some people would be affected for the better and for the worse. Ultimately, if Nikkie tutorials never posted to YouTube, a lot would be affected because a lot wouldn't happen. Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, I do have a positive bias when it comes to Nikkie tutorials. I have been a fan for quite some time. I have a lot of love, a lot of appreciation for her. And even though in my personal opinion she has done incredible amounts of good, she still has her flaws, she has still had her trash moments. Misleading her fans when it comes to affiliate codes, partnerships, and other brand relationships is just trash behavior. Yes, she has definitely had her bad moments, but from my perspective, from what I have seen, she has grown from them and has learnt from them, as I saw in her recreating a fake Nikkie tutorials makeup game. To be put very simply, in the video she takes a moment to explain that she is sorry, that she has learned, and back in the day she was very, 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 very greedy. But a lot of these negative moments haven't been because Nikkie has entertained tea, drama, scandal, gossip, controversy. They are typically because other people have chosen to be vile towards her, which is really weird for me to say because, to be put very simply, in my subjective opinion, there are good people and there are bad people, and sometimes good people do bad things and sometimes bad people do good things, but the overall good and bad of a person isn't determined by some pieces of shit and some good deeds. It's the consistency of the person, it is the baseline of the person. So to me personally, in my subjective opinion, Nikkie is a good person. So it's like saying, yay, she's a great person who just has trash shit happen to her, which I don't want for anyone. I don't think it's fair that a good person has in 1 year been blackmailed, been treated like trash by Ellen DeGeneres, and was robbed during 2020 when the world is already kind of a shit show. As I said, some things in the world just aren't going to make sense to me, and I've just got to accept that. But she does seem to be having a better 2021, which is really nice to see. But if Nikkie never posted to YouTube, then we won't be experiencing the bad, which, for lack of a better phrasing, is nice. But at the same time, we wouldn't be experiencing all of the good, all of the inspiration, all of the love, the heart, the passion. But more than all of the other Butterfly Effect videos that I've ever made, and probably more than a lot of the Butterfly Effect videos that I will probably make in the future, if you take Nikkie tutorials off of the internet, then you take with her all of the inspirational moments on YouTube within the makeup community. We lose so much education, color, hope, love, passion, and inspiration. And as I said before, I think a lot of Nikkie tutorials Butterfly Effect is the effect that she has had on her subscribers, and I say this because it was Nikkie for me that started my journey with makeup. So if Nikkie tutorials never posted to YouTube, then my passion for makeup may have never developed, and therefore I may have never have made this video. Hot diggity damn, how are we all feeling? Butterfly Effect videos are always my favorite ones to make because I love mapping out the hypothetical. I said this as an off-the-cuff throwaway thing when I filmed my Evolution of the Beauty Community video, and then I made the James Charles video, and then the Jeffree video, and now this one, and I am absolutely loving it. I am having such a good day. It is, how are you guys doing? How are you doing? Are you doing as good as me? I hope you're doing as good as me, because right now, I feel invincible. Fight me right now, you wouldn't dare. I have too much caffeine going through my veins and I feel too good. I feel too good. I could stub my toe on the corner of the shower today. Wouldn't even care. I'm having a fabulous day. Nothing can bring me down. I'm too high up. This is great. Can I feel like this all of the time? Please let me know what you think down in the comments. Please let me know what you think of this video. If you think that I've missed anything, if you think that maybe I'm wrong with some of the trajectory that I saw, just let me know all of your thoughts and opinions because I genuinely read every single one of my comments. Hi, if you don't know me, I am JJ. I love learning. I love filling all of my Swiss cheese brain brain holes are another throwaway comment that is really stuck. I love filling my Swiss cheese brain holes, and the best way that I can do it is to learn from other people. It is something that I've done for years, which is probably why I loved the atmosphere of uni, not actually being at uni and studying. I liked the people, not the content. So please let me know what you think of this video, but also please let me know down in the comments below who you want me to do a butterfly effect video for next, because I'm on a roll here. I absolutely love this. And while you're letting me know what you think of the video and what you want me to talk about, also please let me know what you think of my face. Look, I definitely need to get myself some finer like line brushes when it comes to doing cute little stars and stuff, but also hot diggity fucking damn, I look immaculate. You cannot tell me that I am just not the most incredible thing that has ever existed right now. You cannot tell me that I am not the shit. Makeup gives me too much power. It should be taken away from me ASAP, because every time I put on a good face of makeup, I develop a god complex. Look at this up close. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Oh yeah. Oh, you want the highlighter? You want the highlighter? Boom! I think it's also possibly because this is the first time I've done my makeup on camera in quite a while, and I'm feeling so good. I feel so good to be back properly, and also on top of being back properly, what do we think of the hat? I think I've put the ears at the wrong angle, but I look... Can I please have some more, governor? Regardless of those vibes, I still really like this hat. I am so glad that I made a teddy bear beret. A teddy bear beret? Are you joking? I am absolutely amazing. Everything's really coming up Millhouse for me this week, and I absolutely fucking love it. I'm gonna stop rambling. Thank you so much for watching this video, especially if you made it this far, because at the moment, people love when I say this, at the moment I am sitting on 4 hours and 41 minutes worth of microphone footage. That's pretty good. That's better than usual. Usually it's an hour per 1,000 words that I have in my notes, and I had like 6,300 words worth of notes, so I should be at like 6.5 hours. I've definitely missed something. I keep getting off track. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for watching this video, especially because I have 4 hours and 41 minutes worth of microphone footage. So the video is probably going to be a long one, and typically my videos are quite long. So thank you so much for donating to me your precious, precious time. And I hope that you are just having a fantastic day, fantastic week, fantastic month, fantastic year. And I hope that you are doing as fantastic as always. Bye everyone.